Yeah, so I've taken my camera off.
Okay, great. Thank you, Basti. Okay, I'll do it blindly. I don't need to see myself this morning, so I'll talk directly to you. And thanks for bearing with me. So yeah, we don't have Cliff today. You've got me instead, and we're going to be working going still in the fire element, and we're going to move to the small intestine channel, which is the paired with the heart meridian in the fire element. So the joy of the fire element is that it has 4 meridians connected to it, rather than all of the others have 2. So this one's an extra special one with 4. So we'll be going to point of the week later on, which is the beginning of the small intestine meridian. And since the heart starts close on the body, the small intestine starts very far away on the little finger, but we'll go into more detail later. So, you still can't see anything? Okay, let me see. And then we'll go into a poll. Maybe whilst I poke the cameras a little bit, hopefully if you can, Basti, could you share the poll on how we're doing today? I think my stress level's slightly gone up due to the camera not working, which is very strange because it's all fine in the settings. So I'm terribly sorry about this. We're getting there. So yeah, taking the poll whilst I get this camera to work for everybody. Okay, so you can see me. Okay, great. Thank you.
So on the polls, we have mostly everyone is saying that they are okay. There's quite a few people coping well. And we've got about the same amount of people neutral or I'm a little bit stressed.
Great, that's great. So I've just moved you off there, Basti, and hopefully, great, you can see and hear. Okay, I'm going to continue. I have no clue what I'm doing, as in what I can see. So yeah, Basti can let me know if anything goes wrong technically. Please let us know in the chat. So now we've figured out what's going on, how you're feeling, and there is a bit of stress going on for some people, which is okay during this time. You know, we're coming out of lockdowns and figuring out that we can see other people, and which is quite joyful, but there can be some parts of anxiety kicking in because yet again it's another time for change, as well as the spring season arriving too. So I thought before we scan in and check in with our triple burners, if we all come up to standing, so I'm going to move my bolster there. You can do this sitting as well if you want to stay resting. So if you are sitting, keep the feet nicely spread on the floor and allow the sitting bones on the chair to help root into the chair so you can sit up nice and tall and the spine towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do standing is having the feet spread on the floor and allow the legs, the ankles and the knees to be soft and the pelvis to just balance on the top of the legs. And the spine can gently grow towards the sky. And if you wish to, you can close your eyes or you can keep them open, whatever's comfortable for you. And we're just going to take 3 breaths here. And as we take our breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, we're just going to gently draw the breath down deeper into our belly area. If anything feels stuck, say you find it a struggle or uncomfortable to get the breath lower and deeper into the body, work with what you have and what you feel this morning. So if it's staying around the diaphragm area, that's completely fine as well. But we're just thinking of drawing the breath down. So I'm going to place my hands on the dantian, just below the navel and before the pubic bone. I'm going to gently close my eyes. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose, filling the lungs at the top, into the ribs, the diaphragm area, and drawing the breath down into my belly. And I'm going to breathe out through my mouth, really allowing everything to let go of things that you don't need. Second breath, so we're going to breathe in through the nose, filling up that lovely space in the rib cage. It's a nice voluminous area, massaging all the organs, the heart and the lungs, drawing the breath down and deep into the belly and breathing out through the mouth. We'll do one more breath. So if I'm going a bit slower, please breathe the speed that you feel comfortable with. Breathing in through the nose, breathing in and letting everything draw down, all that lovely pure Qi drawing down to the belly, to the dantian, and breathing out through the mouth, letting everything inside kind of rearrange and let go of things on the out breath. Lovely. So you can release your hands from the dantian, and we're going to stay standing for a moment, and you can keep the eyes closed if you'd like. We're just going to do a scan through the body. We're going to start just above the head. We're just going to gently scan through the body all the way through to the feet, and it's kind of taking a snapshot of how each area feels right now, and nothing's wrong at all. So it could be one side feels stiffer than the other, or cold, or perhaps you feel great, but we're just noticing what's going on and not necessarily changing anything. So we can allow the feet to spread into the ground and the breath to be natural. We don't have to think about that for the moment. And we're going to just start just above the head. And we're going to think about this area. How does it feel? Is it spacious? Perhaps you feel a little squashed. Whatever's coming up for you right now, that's okay. And we're going to scan onto the top of the head, this area of the skull, how that's feeling. Just tuning in and noticing. And then down the skull, back of the head, side, and onto the face, how that's feeling for you now. If there's any tension, or perhaps it feels great. And then scanning down ears, into the jaw, throat, back of the neck. How does that feel? Not necessarily changing anything. Not forgetting to breathe either. And then scanning down from the throat and the neck to the upper shoulders, so our shoulder girdle, which is also at the back as well, joining the ribs. We'll scan down the arms first, so how the shoulders feel, the scapula, the upper arms, into your elbows, very important joint, they do a lot of work for us. Down the forearms, just noticing what's going on there, into the wrists and the hands, and the fingers, and continuing with a natural breath. We're going to come back up to the chest area and not forgetting the back of the ribs as well and the spine. So let's focus around the chest area and the back in between the shoulder blades. How's that feeling right now? Not necessarily changing anything. Simply noticing. And then scanning down to the lower ribs. So we've gone through the lung and heart organs, and now we're starting to meet all the other organs in our torso. So we're just scanning this mid part of our body and what's going on here. And then deeper down through the spine into the sacrum and the pelvic bowl and all the organs that we have here. The small intestine. Lovely. And then we're scanning down the legs, so where the femur bone come into the pelvis at the top here. How does that feel? Just noticing. And then scanning down the thighs, so we've got all the flesh and the muscles in our body. Scanning the knees. How do the knees feel? Just like the elbows, they're very important. Very well used joint. Scanning down the lower legs, down the bones, the muscles, into the ankles and the feet, the heels, just noticing how everything feels connected to the earth. Scanning the toes. And then we'll go just a little bit deeper. So like we started, the space just above the head. How is the space just below our feet? So taking imagination down into the floor or through the ground to the earth, but the connection that's just a little bit beyond our feet. How does that feel? If you can feel anything there. Lovely. So we'll just let those snapshots and feelings ebb away. And you can keep your eyes closed if you wish, or you can gently open them. And we're just going to tune into our triple burner space, or the triple heater. So let's just rub our hands together. I like to use, I think I'm a bit more of a tactile person. And when I tune in, I like to use my hand as well as my mind to see what's going on. So rubbing the hands together to create some energy and chi. And I'm just going to place them on the upper part of my chest. I'm just going to close my eyes and tune in. So how does this area feel for you today, right now? The upper burner. Perhaps it's an image or a word or a sensation. So you can take your time with this. I forgot to mention I have got my paper and pen, clipboard. So I've tuned in. I think I know what it feels like. So I'm just going to draw it. And I've got 3 areas, upper, middle and lower. So I'm going to draw what I'm feeling right now. So take your time. Maybe you want to write a word or something like that. Great. So I'll show you my drawings later. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So if you feel you've got that upper burner quality and how you're feeling right now, we'll go down and draw our energy towards the middle burner. I'm going to place my hands just round the bottom of the ribs where the diaphragm sits. So just above my belly button here. And again, just noticing what's going on. I like to place my hands on the area to get a little bit more connection and see what's going on. So taking your time, perhaps it's a feeling or a word, or maybe a colour or a sound. And when you've got that feeling of what's going on in the middle burner for you today, take your paper again and give a little whirl and a scribble. So taking your time. Great. We're getting there. Lovely. And then from there, we know where we're going. Next, it's down to the lower burner. So just like we did with the 3 breaths, just before we scan the whole body, placing the hands underneath the belly button and just above the pubic bone. Just checking in here, and I'm going to close my eyes again. Checking, just to tune in and see what's going on. Get the quality, what's going on for you in this area right now. And once you've got that word or feeling or quality, perhaps it's a sound, then we can take our paper again and write that or draw that in. And take your time. Sometimes it takes a bit longer to tune in and really feel what's going on. Great. So I've got my strange drawings. So take your time, if you need a second more to draw and write down. So I'll show you mine. I've got upper burner. Hopefully you can see it. I still can't see what's going on the screen. So upper burner, I've got kind of a nice airy, spacious feeling, but I've got a bit of tension to my left-hand side. It feels a little bit blocked. My middle burner feels quite great. And my lower burner, it feels a bit swollen or like it needs some attention. But I think really I'm going to go for my upper burner. So the next thing that we're going to do, Basti, if you could, a little bit closer, sure. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got my strange upper burner with a bit of tension here that actually I think I want to work on. And then my poor swollen lower burner, I think is a bit tired, if I'm honest. Hopefully you can see that a bit better. So yes, let's see what burner space is coming up right now. I think last week it was mainly the upper burner that Cliff did with you and working on the heart channel. Oh, great. Okay, so it's looking like the middle burner is coming out the strongest, but also upper and lower look quite even. Okay, great. The lower burner. Okay, so yes, we have a winner this morning. It's the middle burner. So probably a lot of digesting and trying to figure out what's going on with everything changing again and processing all sorts of things like spring, the change of season and the change of our home life and work life and what's going on in our wonderful society as well. So if we come back up to standing, and before we go to some energy exercises, particularly for the middle burner, obviously we'll tie it in nicely so each area will get some love and attention. But I'd like to introduce you to this wonderful thing called Qi. So I'm going to come up to standing. You can also do this sitting on a chair as well. Same thing, as long as your feet are connected to the ground and you're sitting nicely on your sitting bones, so you've got space in the spine. So Qi, what the hell is it? It's amazing. So we're going to work with the breath and the connection of our 2 hands together. Hopefully we can get some lovely energy moving between the hands, and it's actually the same quality and feeling that we have when we practice Shiatsu. So this energy and feeling that we'll get between the hands is what we have when we're working with somebody in a treatment. It's our 2-handed connection. So I'm going to have a fairly wide stance, and I'm going to allow my ankles and knees and pelvis here to be nice and soft. Great. And I'm going to just gently bring my hands quite close together, kind of round the belly area and allowing the shoulders to be soft and the elbows to be relaxed. And just to begin, we bring the hands together and we're going to rub them together, warming them, creating some energy and qi. Great. Lovely. And then allowing them just to gently come apart. So I'll come a little bit further forward so you can see. Hopefully you've got my mid part of the body on there. So I've kind of got an egg shape size space between my hands. And I'm going to connect my breath now. So like we did the 3 breaths at the beginning, so I'm going to breathe in through my nose, deep down into my belly, drawing energy down to the dantian. And as I breathe out, I'm going to send the energy from my dantian, using our imagination, breathing out from the belly, up the chest, and out through the arms to the hands. Okay, so we have to use a lot of imagination here and send our breath and energy out through our hands. Okay, obviously we'll be breathing out through our mouths and in through our nose. So taking your time, and this is with your own breath and rhythm. So please go with your own rhythm. So perhaps I'm a bit slow or quick. So now we've got this lovely space between our hands, breathing in through the nose, drawing the breath down deep into your belly. And as you breathe out, sending that energy from the lower belly and the dantian out through the hands. You don't have to force anything at all. Simply sending energy and qi from our lungs to our deepest part of the body, in the belly, and out through the hands to create some lovely energy. And again, breathing in. So continue with this breath, breathing in down to the dantian and the belly area and out through the hands. So I'm going to move back a bit. So playing with this for a little while, and perhaps slowly over time, with the breath, perhaps your hands would like to move in rhythm with the breath. So I like to breathe in, allowing space to fill between the hands. And as I breathe out, breathing out through the hands, I can start to feel this kind of magnetic feeling. And perhaps this movement is really subtle and you can stay with kind of like a small ball size. If you feel you can start to expand a little bit more and you want to have a play, you can allow the arms to really open up wide. As long as we're drawing the breath down to the dantian and out through the hands. So whatever size and feeling you have with this energy between your hands, perhaps it's getting warm, or this energetic, magnetic pull that you have, that you're starting to feel. Great. So let's gently draw it back in. So if you've gone to a wider size ball of energy, gently drawing it back to the center. And allow the hands to again be kind of like an egg size away. And then just to close, so it was a very short snippet, but it's to get this lovely feeling between our hands. I'm just going to blow between the hands to kind of close the energy and then draw the hands together again, rubbing the palms together. Now, because we've got this wonderful energy we've created between our hands with breath, let's give ourselves some of that energy back, which is also connecting to the fire element, about love and self-worth. So, with our lovely energy we've created, let's start at the head. So placing the hands anywhere on the head and the skull, and just gently pressing this gorgeous energy you've created for yourself. We're going to go either side of the head. You can come to the face if that's comfortable, especially the cheek area, which we'll come to a bit later. Round the neck. And you can gently touch the throat at the front. And then we're going to press that lovely energy onto the shoulder. So you can use the opposite arm to help. We're going to press along the shoulder here, supporting with the other hand, and then squeezing, pressing down that juicy energy that we're giving ourselves into the elbow and the wrists and hands. And we'll do the same the other side. So other shoulder, pressing, giving yourself that energy we've created with Gyoki and breath into the elbow, and then down the forearm, into the wrists and the hand. Lovely. And we're going to come to the chest area, the upper burner, giving some love. That's great. And then either side of the chest, down to the torso. Lovely. We can rub and give some energy, whatever feels great for you. Some pressing, lovely, to the top of the pelvis and the legs here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to gently allow my head to drop forward. And I'm only going as high as is comfortable. So don't jam my shoulder. So softening the knees, giving some love and energy here into the pelvis. Not forgetting the glutes, very important muscle. And then we're going to go down each leg. You can also use a chair if you need to place your foot on for some support. So I'm going to press all this gorgeous energy. Oh, feels like my knee needs some attention there. So I'm going to give that some more work all the way down into the ankle and the feet. And then I'm going to stay low and do the same the other leg. Pressing, giving that yummy energy that we have all the way down the lower leg into the ankle and the feet. Great. And then gently coming up, always softening the legs and allowing the spine to uncurl so we don't come up too dizzy or hurt our backs or anything. Lovely. So we've given ourselves some love, some self-shiatsu, and we've allowed our cells and our body to assimilate what's going on for us today by giving some touch. Our cells are very clever, so we can leave them to process everything that we've done so far. So, because the middle burner came up for everybody, mainly this morning as the main area to work on, let's do some double-weighted swings that we've done lots of times with Cliff. So I'm going to take quite a wide stance and allow the feet to really spread in the ground. And let's think a little bit connecting to the heart channel and the fire element of the connection with the heels. So allow the heels to drop a little into the ground and allow the sacrum and the pelvis to really allow gravity, to take our weight. We don't have to hold anything. We're really dropping the pelvis down. And the spine can just gently ease and grow upwards. Lovely. I hope that feels all right for you. And coming back to our dantian, so I'm going to gently move this area from side to side, starting very, very small. So I'll come back forward so you can see. Very, very small. And I'm keeping this space nice and wide and full of energy, so the knees are strong and the rest of the body can really go for this lovely ride on our double weighted swings, allowing the middle burner to gently squeeze out and kind of get rid of any tension and stress and stagnation that we don't need. So as you can see, I'm gently making the swing slightly bigger, side to side. And because my dantian is the impetus for the movement, everything else is following. The spine's following. My arms are still loose at the side of the body. They're going with my shoulder girdle, and you can allow the head and neck to join in. Lovely. Not forgetting to breathe, that's very important as well. Great. So anytime you get dizzy, please feel free to come back to the center and use a very small, subtle movement. If you're feeling like you got a lot of stagnation and it's quite tight and you're a bit stiff, if you feel you need to do a little bit more movement, allow the arms to come out and allow the hands to kind of let go and kind of slap the sides of your body. So using what feels right for you this morning, perhaps it's a gentle squeeze and wringing out, or something a little more vigorous. Great. Still the same, allowing the knees to have this wonderful space between them. Great. So from here, if you are happy doing a more vigorous movement, and we want to connect in with the upper burner. So as I turn to the side, I'm going to allow an arm, so it's the arm I'm turning towards, the opposite one is just going to come up onto the chest and gently tap around lung 1 in this area here. Lovely. So they're both kind of flopping. One's going up to upper burner and the other one's tapping the pelvis at the back. Don't worry, you don't have to tap yourself quite so hard, but just allowing everything to naturally take its own rhythm. Lovely. And then allowing the arms to come back to the side. Great. We're just going to gently let this movement, gently let it ebb away. So there's no rush to come back to the center. We're still moving from the dantian, in the hara, in the belly. Slowly, slowly things quieten down. Great. So the dantian's still moving, very subtle. Lovely. So I hope whichever swing felt good for you this morning, whether it was a subtle or a bit more vigorous one. So you can try this out in the day. Perhaps you need to move the sides, or if you've sat very long at the computer, this one's really good to get the chi and qi moving so we don't become stagnant. So let's, talking of the being stagnant, let's wiggle the feet and the legs. Lovely. And the tailbone. Allow everything to relax. And how's the jaw doing? So let's connect with the face again and maybe shaking the head and the arms as well. Great. So I'm just going to check the time because I want to get in the important point of the week. Actually, yes, that's kind of perfect timing really. So hopefully we've kind of tuned in and we're feeling a lot more wholesome and everything's connecting. So even though we've worked on the middle burner, all the breath work has helped nourish and tonify the lower burner and obviously the upper burner as well. So let's draw these things together. So I'm going to come down to sitting. I'm going to move the camera. That's great. I think Basti's on it. Don't worry, everyone. He's at a nice distance. We are being socially distant in here with the window open. So let's come to our meridian location. We've done a lot of heart location with Cliff. So I thought, let's start in this area. So you can sit on the floor or on a chair. I'm going to take one palm and place it under the armpit underneath and allow the shoulder to really relax and soften, and the hand can stay resting on the thigh. So allowing this connection of the middle of the palm, I'm going to send, like we did after our gyoki, sending some lovely energy from the palm and into the chest and the shoulder. So I'm sending energy towards my heart. And you can take a breath here. I know it's not often we touch our own armpits, but it's a great area to give some attention to. We know that the heart one under the armpit helps unbind the chest. Lovely. And we're going to go on the inside part of the arm, so I'm allowing it to turn out. Just going to gently press down the heart channel all the way to the wrist, onto the palm, and to the inside part of the little finger. Lovely. I'm going to turn the hand out, and now we're going to connect with the small intestine channel, so it comes up the inside of the hand. It's kind of like that bit of blade edge, but slightly inside here, pressing into the elbow, up the arm, and into the shoulder. It does pop round. If you can't reach, don't worry at all. Pop round to the scapula at the back. So let's just go around once more, this lovely pressing and energy from our hand down the heart channel into the wrist. And yeah, any point that feels really good and, oh, actually I want to stay there for a moment longer, feel free to the inside part of the little finger, turning over and coming up into the elbow, kind of the outer aspect of the arm here, into the shoulder. If you'd like to, you can continue with that, but how is it to we're just going to go around once, gently tapping down the heart channel and then the small intestine on the outside. But you can stick with pressing if that feels really good. And we're just going to come to the chest area, and I'm using my fingertips and very loose wrists, gently tapping across the chest, allowing lovely pure Qi and energy to come in, connecting with the upper burner. So if there's any blockages here, really allow this dough in to release there. Great. And we'll come to the other arm. So same thing again, tucking the hand under the armpit, giving some energy through the hand and into the chest, and allowing this arm to relax. And then we're going to squeeze and press down the inside of the arm, that's the heart channel, to the wrist, the inside of the little finger, and then turning it over, we're going to go the small intestine, which is where we'll come to in a second, for point of the week, up into the elbow, all the way to the shoulder. And perhaps there is a point, actually, there's a good one. I'm just going to stay here for a moment. Maybe there's a point that's really juicy and needs a little bit more attention. So you can stay there a little longer. And again, we'll come round to the heart, where it starts in the armpit, pressing down the inside of the arm to the wrists and the little finger, and coming up the small intestine channel, all the way to the shoulder. So if you're happy with pressing and squeezing, continue to do this. I'm going to give a little tap, gentle tap down the heart channel. We want to be kind to ourselves, and up the small intestine channel. Lovely. And again, coming to the chest area, perhaps tapping with like fingertips and very loose wrists, Or if that feels a little bit much and is a bit tender, coming back to pressing and maybe just holding an area. Again, being kind to ourselves and doing what feels right for you this morning. Lovely. So we've gone round the heart and small intestine, and we've helped the lung energy in the upper burner. Now we're going to come to the head, so I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see. Look quite small on the screen. So same thing again, we're going to rub the hands together, and I'm going to place my hands to begin over my eyes and front of the face. And you can allow your head to, I'll turn sideways so you can see, to gently rest in your face. Allow your face to rest in your hands. Lovely. And gently pressing round. And we're going to come to kind of where the ear and the top of the cheekbone is. So it's like the sideburn area. And I'm going to use the fingertips and gently press in to the face. This is the wonderful small intestine Meridian channel on our face. It's going to help us process and assimilate everything that's going on in our lives, as well as the heart, the small intestine helping the heart channel. It's really great for circulation and assimilating. You're gently pressing in here. Lovely. And then gently kind of either side and towards the back of the neck, down to the shoulders. Great. And then coming back to the face, so taking the thumbs gently under the chin. So this area here is the heart area on the face. So gently pressing in, and it's connecting the tongue in with the heart channel, which is exactly what it does. It's like kind of nicely rooted to the heart, kind of speaking our truth. So gently pressing in here. Lovely. And we can use our fingers, and I've got my thumb underneath the jaw, all the way to the jaw. I know I talk a lot in my life, so I'm going to give my cheek muscles a good press. And again, down to the back of the neck, top of the shoulders. Lovely. And into the chest, and then brushing off the arms, round the shoulder and down to the little finger. I'm going to brush all of that away. Lovely. So I think now we've connected with these lovely juicy fire element meridians, let's come to point of the week. Thank you, Basti. That's great. So Basti's going to get the slide up for me, and we're going to do point of the week, and it's the beginning of the small intestine channel. And so the heart starts on the body, very close on the torso. So the opposite end, where the heart channel finishes, the small intestine channel starts. That's it. I've also got this massive book that Cliff likes to get out for point of the week. So we have small intestine 1, which is called the Lesser Marsh. Not quite sure why, but it's got a nice name. And it's right on the edge of the nail bed. I'll read from the book. So the location is on the dorsal aspect of the little finger at the junction of lines drawn along the ulnar border of the nail and the base of the nail. So, and it's slightly in, so as you can see on the picture. So on the finger there and on the outside part of the nail base. So we can gently press this, allowing the shoulders and elbows to relax. You can allow your hands to rest in your lap, and we're going to gently press this area here. This also says, as well as the name Lesser Marsh, it's called the Jing well, and apparently is the metal point of the small intestine channel, which I guess connects greatly with the upper burner, connecting in with the lungs. And even though it's right on the end of your little finger, it has a really lovely connection into the chest. So it's really great for headaches, dizziness, red eye, nosebleeds, tinnitus, throat pain, stiffness of the tongue. So even though it's very, very far away, it's amazing at connecting all of these parts of your body and allowing some Qi and space in these areas. It's great for stiff neck and shoulders and upper arm, also pain in the elbow. So let's swap to the other hand. I think on the slide it says fever and loss of consciousness. And I think, have I got it right there, Basti, that some places would bite the end of the little finger on somebody who's unconscious to help revive them again. So
absolutely, yeah.
It's a great one. Maybe don't bite the end of your little finger if you're very much awake and conscious, but it's a good point to know there. So pressing that area here. Lovely. But yeah, it's a really lovely one to press and to open the channel in the body. Really nice to connect to the lungs and breath work as well. And I like this one too because, you know, if you're out and about shopping or out in the city and you don't want to do some kind of pressing on your face to get connected and allow everything to relax, this one's nice and discreet. You can hold your hands and give your little finger a lovely squeeze. Great. So I think we're doing all right on time. Lovely. So that's the beginning of the small intestine channel, and later Cliff will take you through the rest of the channel that come all the way up. Hopefully he'll come to the ones on the face that we've pressed this morning as well. So maybe actually, Basti, shall we run another poll of how you're feeling now, or checking in, unless you'd like to write anything in the chat. Hopefully everything started to release if there was any tension. Lovely. So let's just checking in. So before we start to wrap things up, I've got a lovely part that I want to share with you in a moment. But before we do that, we'll just check in. Oh, amazing. You feel all balanced or about the same. Phew, I've done my job okay, and you're in kind of good hands without Cliff, so I'm glad about that. Great. So whilst we're still sitting, and before we come to a wonderful thing that I want to offer for you today is some rest, so we can assimilate everything that's gone on this morning, is that we come down and draw the energy down from the chest and the head and the little fingers down to the feet. So it's a much loved kidney 1 point I want to draw into. So if we take a nice sitting position, you can do this on a chair as well. We're just going to press all around the foot. They're amazing things that we have at the end of our legs, and it's nice to give them some attention. Round the heel. So it's where the heart channel is here. And then just above it, we have wonderful part in Zen Shiatsu where it connects to the small intestine. And then down to the toes. Let's not forget our toes. And then coming into our kidney 1. So you can roll the foot over or allow the heel to rest on the floor and pressing in to the center, just under the ball of the foot here to our kidney 1. And that's going to help any imbalance in the upper burner and the lower burner. And by Jove, it helps get the middle burner going as well. So it's a great one to really allow everything to tune in, tonify, and help with de-stressing as well. Lovely. And give a foot a little bit of a shake. You can hold the leg as well. And then we'll swap over, swapping feet. So I'm going to give my foot a really nice all over squeeze, giving it loads of attention. Not forgetting the ankle and the upper part of the ankle round the front of the foot, round the heel. Down to the toes. And then into our gorgeous bubbling spring, the kidney one. So you can do this using your thumbs with the foot rolled over, or you can use fingers pressing nicely into that point. So if your feet are feeling a bit tender, you can gently press, or you can even, like we've done with heart one, allow the palm to rest onto that area if that area is feeling really tender or sore. But if you feel like you need a little bit of energy and uplift and tonification, you can really get some finger or thumb into that point. That's great. And then we'll shake the foot out. So we're drawing the energy down to the feet. Great. And just to wrap everything up, we've gone from standing and really made the middle burner release lots of things. Because we're on the small intestine channel and the fire element, there's that wonderful thing in the whole process of allowing things to assimilate. So I would like to offer to you to take this moment to come and lie down. Yes, have a rest. So lying down on the floor, you can do this sitting as well. Sitting in the chair and really resting into the chair. So I'm going to come down onto my back, allow my legs out long and my arms by the side of me. If that's uncomfortable on your lower back, place the feet on the floor, and you can put a bolster or cushions under your knees if you want. So seeing what's comfortable for you this morning, rearrange to get really comfortable. You can also do this sitting, but really allow the weight of your body to really drop into the ground. Just allowing yourself to give in to gravity. You're not needing to do anything or think of anything. And just allowing your breath to be nice and natural. Nothing's forced. Allow everything to just drop into the ground, whether you're sitting or lying down. It's just taking this moment for yourself. Allowing your very clever cells to assimilate and process what's going on. And whilst they do that, we can allow our brain and our breath to really rest. So if you wish to, you can stay lying or sitting. We're going to wrap the class up, but if you don't want to get up, that's completely fine. Stay exactly where you are and really enjoy this moment of allowing things to settle, giving yourself some space and time. Or we can wiggle our fingers and toes, coming back into the room a bit. I'm going to open my eyes gently. And I'm going to roll onto one side and gently come to sitting. There's no rush at all, or indeed you can stay. You can stay lying on the floor. How are we doing? Oh, hopefully you're all feeling really great and it's given you some time to assimilate what's going on for you today. And hopefully, yes, you're feeling more balanced and much better. That's great. Oh, there's lots of hearts in the chat, which is really lovely. Thank you. I'm glad you could all come, and thank you, Basti, for helping me with the polls and the chat. That's really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, anytime you're feeling like you're stuck or feeling stressed, the 3 breaths that we tuned into at the beginning, this is like really wonderful to tune into, and it only takes a few moments, less than 5 minutes, to see what's going on. If you've got kids at home, maybe you can, I don't know, send them to go and play games whilst you tune in and have 3 breaths. Or if you're busy at work, maybe just moving away from the screen and giving yourself some time to breathe and allow everything to process so you can really feel de-stressed and so much better for the rest of your day. And not forgetting point of the week, so you can give it a discreet squeeze at the end of the little finger whilst you're out and about getting on with things in your day. And I hope you have a lovely day. It's just started raining here in Norwich, so I think I'm going to get wet on my way home, but that's all great. But I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, I think there's there's a question there. Yes, Sabine Gioki, I think it's with a G. Thank you, Basti. He's put the spelling in the chat. I'm not a great one for spelling, so I'm glad you're here. Gioki, using the breath with the hands and the connection with the hands and the breath. You can also bring this on to your receiver when we practice Shiatsu. Anyway, I will wrap this up and say goodbye, and I hope you have a wonderful day and rest of the week, and see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Cheerio, everyone.
Bye.